Hey, what's going on? In today's video, I just want to talk about something that happened to me probably over the last week or so, which is quite weird because when I looked this up, it didn't seem like it was something that would actually happen to me or someone of my age. I got shingles, bro. For anybody who hasn't had it or doesn't know what it is, it's basically a re-emergence of the chickenpox virus that it comes out in like these little clusters of blisters around your body, and it can be completely random on where it appears. Now, I had no clue about what it was, so essentially I had to do my own research. I looked into all types of different things, and you know how you sort of like WebMD stuff and you kind of freak out about what sort of viruses you have?
Oh my god, I could potentially have diabetes.
Maybe I have something really bad and I could probably die and I don't know what to do and I haven't even bothered to do anything.
Oh my god, that's a rash that I have. That's something that I really need to get looked at. You kind of go on those tangents where you sort of freak out a little bit about certain things. So for me, it seemed like that was probably the most accurate description of what I found, where it was pretty much a cluster of blisters and it hurt like hell and there was a lot of pain, itchiness, all sorts of crazy stuff. Luckily for me, unlike other stories that I've read and done my research on, this happened on my thigh. Some people that I've seen, it's happened on their spine, it's happened on their face, on their neck, in places that I don't even want to think about. But for me, it happened on my thigh, and the only reason why I really noticed it was because out of nowhere, my leg just started hurting. I had clusters of blisters on my leg. I wasn't sure how I got it. I thought it was a spider bite at first. And eventually it kind of like freaked me out a little until I decided, you know what, maybe I should pop the blisters.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
That shit hurts so much, and on top of that, it actually made like really bad scarring on my leg. And what I found out later on was that when you pop the blisters, you're actually releasing the virus over your skin. So if you touch it and then you touch someone else who's never had chickenpox, they could get it. The crazy thing about the timing of this is that it actually happened as soon as we were going into lockdown. So probably a few days before we went into lockdown here in Sydney, I started to feel a little bit of pain in my leg. And my job requires me to be standing and moving around and walking a lot. So for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, it's pretty intense. So with that happening, I could definitely feel it rubbing against my jeans. It was causing me a lot of discomfort. So what I decided to do was, as soon as we went into lockdown, I decided to get it checked out by a doctor, which confirmed it was shingles. Now, on top of having the actual physical side of things happening, my mental health was being affected quite a bit. I sort of fell into like this depression, which I'm sort of still trying to get through, as well as my mood changed quite a bit. I did have a loss of appetite leading up to sort of the scarring side of things, but I was told that, you know, with some rest and basically letting it heal, it'll eventually go away. The only downside to it is that there is possible nerve damage that could occur over the next couple of months or so. And for anybody else who knows about shingles, you should know that this is something that mostly the elderly get. Like, it literally says on every article that I've looked up that usually people over 60 get it. For some reason, me getting it at 27 is like a weird thing. So with that being said, I decided to take a huge break off social media. I felt like there'd been so much that had happened over the last couple of months that just pretty much drove my body and wore my body down as much as possible. Lately, I've started to become really self-aware of myself, and I've realized that I'm pretty much a people pleaser, and I try my best to make everybody happy in the room and care about what everybody thinks, which isn't a bad thing. But now that it's starting to affect my health, I'm starting to realize that I have put so many people above myself, and at the end of the day, you really do have to take care of yourself individually. Focus and prioritize on your needs. Not that you need to be selfish about it, but you do need to make sure that you are in the best health that you can be for yourself. And even if that means having to cancel plans with certain people, or you know, not eat a certain food or do certain things that will help you feel better about yourself, I recommend doing that, because having shingles is not fun. So where does that lead me, and why have I made this video? Well, essentially, I'm going to take a big journey over the next 6 months of this year. I've decided to take a break off social media. That will be the first step. I'm going to set a challenge to change my body sometime soon and work on that once we get out of this lockdown. I'm going to focus also on bettering myself and doing a lot of self-development, as well as really diving into minimalism, which is something that I've always wanted to dive into. I made a series of videos, I think like 2 years ago, leading up to my birthday, and it was basically just going over things that I wanted to focus on, which I never got around to doing or ever like listen to that advice that I gave out, simply because we went into lockdown and I was living in Melbourne at the time, and it was probably one of the worst lockdowns I could ever experience, and it just was not the environment for me to practice all of that stuff. So keep a lookout for future videos that will be coming. I'll be doing a lot of sort of challenges for myself, focusing on bettering myself and bettering my health. So Thank you for joining me for story time. I'm going to take some rest and enjoy my time. Anyway, with that story time, peace out. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!